Hi guys, Steph here, and I'm joined by a very tired Hanaconda.
Hello.
I'm here basically to sit and ramble at you for a few minutes about the KickStarter project, the State of Gaming address. Basically, we've had a few questions from people who are interested in backing but haven't quite been sure what we're on about. This video will go up on the YouTube channel. I'll link it via our Twitter and Facebook and indeed on the Kickstarter page, so, everyone who's interested can see it, basically. So, first big question that I've been asked by a couple of people: aren't you basically doing what extra credits have done? And my answer to that is no. Extra credits I absolutely adore. They are a brilliant bunch of people who I have infinite respect for and what they do. The difference is they look at games very much from a game dev and player perspective. They spend most of their episodes looking at the games from the idea of people teaching how to make games, that kind of thing. What we're doing is looking at gaming from a purely scientific standpoint. Yes, we're gamers, we thoroughly enjoy our games, but we are first and foremost scientists in this project. We're not going to hide any data, good or bad, from this project. If something comes up that is overwhelmingly against my hypothesis that games are a force for good in society, then we will mention this, we will bring full exposure to it because that's the right thing to do.
I think we want to critically review all of the papers and stuff as well.
Yeah, this project is, to a greater or lesser extent, a critical review of the scientific experimentation surrounding games. Now, obviously, there's more to it than that. We're going to do an in-depth history of gaming from start to finish. We've got quite a few audience episodes up on the Kickstarter available. 2 of the main episodes will be voted on by people who have backed the Kickstarter project. So, we're trying to reach the public here as much as possible, as well as address topics that we feel are incredibly important to modern gamers. So, for all intents and purposes, we are covering some of the same ground as extra credits, but we are not them. They will keep doing, I'm sure, a fantastic job bringing out the weekly episodes. What we're doing is almost a lot more in depth than what they've done in the past on any one subject. That's nothing against them. They cover an amazing array of topics.
I would say also that Extra Credits is very much made for gamers, and this, I would hope, would be interesting to people who aren't gamers.
That's a good point. Yeah, we're making this as much for parents of gamers and people who are interested in, sociology and what games have done to society. We're not trying to make this purely for gamers. Obviously, we hope it'll be interesting to gamers, but we hope that also teachers will be interested in this, and people who work with kids, people who are interested in what effects there are in society on kids these days, and whether the dangers that have been so widely reported by the mass media are out there in reality, or whether it's just a load of made-up rubbish,
I'm hoping we can do a little bit of our own primary research as well.
Yeah. The plan is to poll quite a few members of the public, to get some opinions rolling, to talk to a lot of people around the country and indeed in other countries. For those who don't know, we're based in the UK. Should probably throw that out there. We will be interviewing as many people as possible to get their opinions on things, people who matter in the gaming world, gaming YouTubers who have made it a lot bigger than we have, people from both sides of the argument, teachers, parents, people who work in game. We'll have a big, wide range of opinions on the episodes, and we will be very clear to state where opinion ends and evidence begins. We're not using the term facts here because, scientifically speaking, you cannot have facts. You can have evidence to support something, but you can't have a fact. So we're not dealing in facts. That's what the mass media that we're trying to debunk works in. Another question that I've been asked, possibly the most important one, is where is the money going to go? Now, that is an incredibly good question and something that should really have been in the first video, but I didn't really have time when recording it because I wanted to get the project up and running. The vast majority of the money is going towards buying recording equipment. I know that I'm recording on a microphone right now, but I'm currently sat at the kitchen table with a little Go mic in front of me, recording into GarageBand. We want to make this professional. We want to make this something that we can be really proud of, something that is respected by people with all the flashy graphics that go with that kind of thing. So we want to get a better machine to record and process with. We want to get some better recording equipment, probably a professional grade microphone, some HD webcams so we can record interviews over Skype, that kind of thing, and just all round that kind of stuff. The other vast majority of the money is going towards actually keeping us alive for the next year, because this will be my full-time job for the next year, should the project be funded. That has to cover rent on our recording space, and, well, recording space and our flat, which is kind of the same thing right now, but it would cover eating, utilities, all that kind of stuff. Now, I'm at the same time going to be working a part-time job while doing this, or at least that's the plan, so I can supplement earnings that way, but Kickstarter would be the main way that we're funding this project and funding staying alive over the next year, basically.
We might also need to spend some of the money on getting access to literature.
Yes.
Because not everything is free on the internet.
Quite a bit of a reasonable amount of our budget is actually to pay for journals, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. To be able to get the scientific literature that we want to review, because not all of it is available online or indeed at the university library that we're affiliated to. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we're yet to see how much of that money will be spent on that.
Yeah. We've budgeted some headroom in for that exact reason. You know, if it doesn't get spent on papers, I promise you right now it will be spent on making the series as good as it can be. Yeah, I'm firmly of the opinion that overshooting the budget slightly, well, overshooting our estimates slightly for literature would be better than not having enough money up front. Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, as in, if we raise enough that we can buy all the papers that we need outright.
Ah, yes.
And if we don't need to buy them all, we've got enough money to put into other things and making stuff even better.
Cool.
You know?
Any more questions?
Those are the two that I've been asked mainly. Now, it goes without saying that, guys, if you have any questions at all, please tweet at us at The Void Hive, or get us on our Facebook page, look up The Inexplicable Void Hive, and you'll find us. Or PM us on YouTube. We are The Void Hive on YouTube. You're probably watching this on YouTube or on Kickstarter or wherever, so you know how to contact us. If you've got questions, send them our way. We are very happy to answer them. Can you think of anything else that we needed to cover?
Not really.
Fair enough. I'm sure more stuff will come to us as we go. I'm happy to do this kind of quite informal, sitting down, just talking at the microphone style of thing. That's something I should cover, actually. The episodes, except obviously the interviews, well, and the debates and things, when we hopefully get some debates going, the episodes themselves will be scripted. I know that I'm quite rambling in my style of speech. People who have watched my videos will know that I tend to go off on a tangent massively. I do, however, write a lot. I pride myself on my writing when I'm actually in the mood to write well. And the presentation of the scientific content will be written down and scripted.
Actually, I did think of something.
Yes.
Any of our primary research that we do, we will release as papers.
Yeah.
Whether they'll get published or not, I don't know.
But if you back the Kickstarter, you will receive a copy of them as literature, as part of the literature that we have gathered.
It will be available.
Yeah. Well, we'll put a PDF on the data disk along with our list of references from all the other papers that we've looked at.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, it goes without saying that, obviously this is designed as much for lay people as it is for scientists and teachers and people. You don't have to read the citation list if you don't want to. Hell, you don't have to touch the data disk if you don't want to, if you back us. But we'll send it out to everyone because I personally think it's important that, sources are cited. We see in a lot of newspapers and things, these wild quotes from scientists. And personally, it makes me very sad when I see that because we don't, they're not cited. The paper is never cited. It's always some group somewhere or as reported in something else. They never actually cite the original article. It's something actually that I think should be passed into law, that newspapers have to cite their sources.
And yeah, so we're not going to be like that.
No, we're actually going to deliver the counterpoint where if you want to know where we got a piece of data, it will be cited.
And we also want to look at everything critically. Even if it supports our argument, we're going to
we will criticise
the
it
method and make sure that it's right.
And where we can, replicate such experiments.
Oh, a lot of the psychological stuff we can't do. I know that.
No, but there's been some very basic studies into,
But games, box art, and things like that.
Yeah, conditioning, that kind of thing. So we will, where possible, try and look at that and replicate it.
Interesting one on if casual gaming is sexist in any way.
Well,
which was very interesting.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, about sexism in gaming. That's a topic that we want to address with the utmost respect. We are working on the best way to do that, because it's something that we found actually is not scientifically examined much at all.
Well, there is all I've found so far is a study on how women are portrayed on video game box art.
Yeah.
And that study I said about casual games.
Yeah.
And of course the casual game one was, showed something very different from what you would expect, because it's casual gaming and it's mostly aimed at women.
Yeah, that's really weird, because last numbers I saw, and this is not something I can cite immediately except from an episode of something on YouTube that I forget. Last set of numbers I saw on casual games said that about 55-60% of casual gamers were girls. So, I say girls, women in general.
Well, I will include we'll include a link to the paper.
Yeah, I'll also look up that set of numbers and see if we can do anything with it. But, yeah. Anything else?
Not really.
Yeah, we're coming to you quite tired. It's been quite a long day. Please do support us on KickStarter. We feel that this is one incredibly important project. For me personally, this is very, very important that the actual, air quotes, truth about what games do in society is out there. Because every day that I'm on a forum or something, there is at least one person who tells me that I'm a terrible human being for being a gamer.
Seriously?
Yeah. No, actually, every time I go on pretty much anything, I got told that I should go away and take my life because I played Tetris from someone who was a perfectly rational, normal human being up until that point in the conversation. That was one of the driving forces for this.
And we want to see more games tackling, adult themes.
Yeah.
Themes that, currently people don't want to touch because games aren't well respected enough. You can do it in a film, you can do it in a book, but you can't do it in a game.
Whereas, arguably games give us the most interactive experience of anything. Films and books convey an idea. Games let you experience the idea. So, in this incredibly immersive, interactive format, why should they not tackle some of the most difficult questions about society? What is society's problem with games, as well as what do games do to society? I guess that's another question that we're looking to answer here. Now, obviously we don't have a full list of episodes yet, because we're waiting on backing from the project and votes from the public to, suggest what we should cover in 6 of our 8 episodes. Oh, I was leaning on a key on the keyboard. Oh well, it didn't seem to affect the recording. Yeah, I think we should probably sign off here because I'm starting to ramble horribly. I'm going to go and get some sleep now, or possibly eat more waffles and drink more coffee. I'll work that out in a minute, but thanks for listening, guys. Thank you again for your interest. Best much love to everyone, and hopefully see you all soon in various forms.
Bye.
Bye.